Well, basically, when I was at Devereux, uh, it's hard to explain. So I could like tell it like a story.
Devereux Advanced Behavioral Health prides itself on serving the most vulnerable members of our society. The nonprofit has over 100 years of experience in treating youth with intellectual disabilities, mental disorders, and trauma. An Inquirer investigation found that at least 41 children as young as 12 and with IQs as low as 50 were raped or sexually assaulted by Devereux staff members in their group homes and residential facilities. At least 1/4 of those victims were assaulted at Devereux's campuses in the Philadelphia suburbs in the last 2 decades.
Devereux was a facility I was sent to get help. That facility was supposed to help me. They made things worse.
I felt more scared in Devereux's walls than I ever did roaming the streets.
My son was sexually assaulted.
Devereux should be shut down. Devereux shouldn't even be able to do anything with children ever again.
It still bothers me to know that this happened by someone I trusted, by a facility that I put 150% of trust in to take care of my baby.
I felt if this could happen where there's structure and where they're supposed to help me, I certainly felt like that this was the way of life. That women are just property. That women don't have a voice. And if you speak up, you're going to be punished. And that's exactly what happened to me over and over.
I was downstairs in my living room. It was after 11 p.m. I received a phone call stating that my son was assaulted by a staff member. I just froze in that moment.
Latasha's son, Edward, was diagnosed with autism and developmental delays. Not long after he arrived at Devereux Brandywine, a campus in Glenmore, Pennsylvania, Edward was sexually assaulted by a male staff member. He did not report the abuse until months later.
For me as a mom, it was the hardest thing to, ever get a phone call and hear on the other side of the phone that your child has been assaulted.
Edward was interviewed by a Chester County detective about what happened to him at Devereux.
At first I was like, no, and then that's when he grabbed me and told me to stop bitching and I started doing it. And then that's when it started happening like constantly.
Flip me around, turn me over, pull my pants down, and had unprotected intercourse with me. And I still remember to this day how painful that was, because I was just a teen. He was a 40-something-year-old man. He was in his mid-40s. The way he did that is if he's done it many times. A few weeks goes by, and I noticed I was hungry. I had more of an appetite for some reason. I was in line to get breakfast. And I look over and I see the latest rapist. I dropped my plate. I took off running in the bushes. I knew he was going to strike again the moment he was able to. I felt scared, sick. I was on campus. I was in the bushes. I was praying to God, why? 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 Why did I come here to not get any of the help I came here for, but now to take on all this abuse? Is this normal? What am I supposed to do?
Stephanie enrolled at Devereux's facility in Malvern in the Philadelphia suburbs to seek counseling after the death of her mother. She turned 15 while on campus.
My stepmother demanded I get tested for everything. That's when it came back I was pregnant. When they told me I was pregnant, I was devastated. I was a 15-year-old lost girl that now has a rapist baby growing inside me. My baby would have been 19 years old today. I have guilt. I have so much guilt that I had the abortion because that was still a baby. I was told so many different things at 15 years old, that would have been the best love of your life, the child. told it was a Satan baby. I was told all these things, and I grew up thinking, I really did grow up thinking I was a murderer. I never deserved to be happy. I never deserved happiness. I never deserved to have children, and I never did have children. The one and only time I've ever been pregnant in my life was by the counselor of Devereux. I've never been pregnant again.
The impact that it had on my son was horrible. Even if I tried to approach him or talk to him, he would get upset, he would get angry, he would threaten to leave the house and run away, he would punch a wall. I even suggested counseling. He wouldn't even go, he wouldn't talk about it. I took him to a place to get counseling. He wouldn't do it. He started self-medicating. He started eloping at night, disappearing for days.
When I would be like sleep on my bed sometimes, he would like pull my blanket and grab me by my private part. So that's when I would like sleep on my stomach because he kept trying to grab me.
My son was 16 when he first started Devereux. He was 16 by birth, by age, but cognitively, he was about 12. He was not able to think like a 16-year-old. He wasn't at that maturity level. He was a big child.
I remember I was in the music room and he raped me. Y'all did nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. Like, how do you just do that? It makes no sense. You guys let him go. You let him come back around. You let him go on the unit. You guys made it seem like it was my fault. And you guys are supposed to help girls like me. How many other girls are going to bring in and just let this happen to?
Hannah was 12 when she became a victim of sex trafficking. She was 15 when she enrolled at a Devereux campus in Vieira, Florida, to get help. While at the facility, she was raped by a 24-year-old staff member. When she told administrators what happened, they asked if she was having flashbacks to previous abuse.
Hey, this is what's happening. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. DCF got involved. And after the rape came out, once I told them like what happened, that's when it was into a big deal and they turned it into an investigation. Like, I feel weird around him. He's touched me before. Nothing was done. But once I said a rape was done, supposedly all of a sudden, DCF's involved. But even after DCF got involved, nothing happened.
I live with this every day. I think about it every day. I have a daughter that's 12. I have grandchildren. And this has made me think about people and places in a different light. And what happened to him was wrong. And it's unforgivable.
Latasha was asked to read a victim impact statement on behalf of her son at the sentencing hearing for Robert Flood, Edward's abuser.
I received a phone call a couple of months ago asking if I would like to speak on behalf of my son at the sentencing. In the beginning, I just couldn't just bear to even go back and face him again. But as I thought about it, and I'm the only one that can go up there and speak on behalf of him, I decided I needed to do this, not only for him, but for other kids and other families as well. Once I gotten a couple of paragraphs down, it became easier to express myself and to tell him that he really affected not only my son's life, but my family's life. And the things that he did was wrong. And that he deserves to be where he's at. I'm not a judge, I'm not his jury, but he knows what he did was wrong, and he should accept that.
That facility shouldn't even be open in my mind.
I was so traumatized that I started to believe that this was a normal thing that girls go through in life. I honestly, till recently, believed that this is what happens, because if this could happen where an organization like Devereux shows that they're taking care of kids and our government funds it, if this is happening in these facilities, then it happens everywhere, I felt.
The employees who sexually assaulted these 3 victims were fired by Devereux and later convicted on charges related to their crimes. Recently, the federal government awarded the company a $40 million contract to house immigrant children separated from their parents at the border. In an interview with the Inquirer, Devereux denied that a lack of supervision and understaffing has contributed to staff assaulting children on its campuses. They say they are taking aggressive steps to curb sexual assault, introducing new trainings, job candidate screenings, and new technology.